Meave's closest advisors already awaited her in the command tent.
An army, an immense one, approaches from the west.
Damn it! Why did no...
Our scouts were discovered.
We must flee? Not at all heroic, I admit.
Easily said, but for a problem. Our force is chiefly infantry. The army that draws near includes...
What do you advise?
We've two options.
Out of the question.
Or take the castle. Tonight.
Reynard, you know me. First into the fire. The castle can't be taken by conventional assault if at all.
Rivia's walls are unassailable. I fully agree.
I think I like where this is going.
I know this citadel like no one else.
Wait. That narrowest of piers between the two...
The same. As I'm sure you recall, Your Grace, at that... a small detachment could approach unnoticed, overwhelm any set...
What then?
They would need to pass through the fort to the winch in the guardhouse. Open the...
Reynard, I'll be honest.
Perhaps. But as options go...
And I'm to choose to send folk there.
You needn't choose anyone, for I volunteer. And...
Bloody wretched plan.
And you've a better one, do you?
Of course. I'll go
Beg your pardon? I don't.
Face it, Reynard, you couldn't sneak past a corpse. Apart from which, you're Maeve's right hand.
Firstly, Reynard, I'm grateful.
Thank you, Your Grace.
But truth be told, I did indeed hear you walking to the tent from the... And yes, you know Rivię Castle better than anyone else. But the assault must
Understood, Your Grace.
Cheers, Maeve. I'll try not...
You won't, I'm sure. Godspeed you on your way, and please...
Gaston hand-picked his men, those most adept with daggers, not swords. Noiseless, Maeve watched anxiously as the boats glided away, her heart pounding in her ears. The Lyrians prepared for battle, their silence absolute, in darkness, illumined. Finally, a torch's faint glow appeared atop the towering walls. It disappeared. Moments later, Lyrians in the hundreds burst from the trees. The Nilfgaardian defenders loaded their... Then they heard chains, grinding and clinking, and the sound sent shivers down their spines. Bewildered, they watched the main gate run. Maeve had begun the day known as a great warrior. Yet by night's end, legend was the cloak she wore. What was this extraordinary vigor that surged through Maeve? Naturally, she wished to liberate her castle and realm. Maeve had expected the worst, a bloodbath, piles of corpses. Yet all in the guardhouse was eerily quiet and calm. The door to the winch room lay shattered, true, but this was the one sign there'd been any sort of struggle. What happened here?
Willem, what happened here?
My wrongs. I sought to right them.
Wheezed the prince. Gaston pushed his way through the other foot soldiers. He knelt beside the queen and whispered what had happened. His unit had not managed to reach the gate in time, but Willem... The queen rose, her fists clenched, her shoulders rigid, her knuckles white. Her face betrayed no sorrow, no despair, just The Lyrians were at the brink, near their breaking point. They'd followed me for thousands of miles, over snow-clad peaks, through forbidding swamps.
This is the end, Ebdahi. Do you hear me? I shall stick your head on a pike!
death is only the beginning!
I must thank you. Your fortress has superbly solid walls. Oh.
Hellcatzer!
Enough! I do not need to hear this. Kill her! Hey!
Barbarians.
For you, pal! Anything! John.
God!
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
Off to the front yet again. Again and again and again.
Egreto dum anime est, spes est.
Fuck, our ass is moving.
Quiet, or the commissar will hear.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
No time for that! Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
Not supposed to be any smoke.
Queen!
Off to the front yet again.
Tell me you jest.
Of course, as you wish, master.
Got a death wish?
That was not in the spell books. We're here.
Archers, let it be night. Obscure the sun with arrows.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
Nilfgaard had the upper hand, yet the black-clad spirits had suffered. They now made more use of shields than of swords. When Meve finally broke through their line, they raised their arms in... Alas, the general had disappeared. A prisoner revealed Epdahi had fled as soon as the Lyrians had surged towards the upper keep. He had glided down. Meve cursed her luck and leaned back against a merlin. Dawn was yet a few hours off, but the horizon had already begun to glow blood red. That night the war turned, with the battle for Rivię Castle as its fulcrum. Meve's great victory, not only... The armies of the north had united and now seemed to be on the attack everywhere. Imperial forces, while still far more numerous, lay stretched over thousands of miles. Their position was untenable, and Nilfgaard's commanders knew this. In a decisive battle, they yet stood a chance, so they gave said battle, and suffered a resounding defeat. Just a few months on from that memorable night in Rivię, the Imperial army was in utter disarray. Aldersburg, the fortress, remained a last point of resistance. General Epdahi and what had survived of Army Group East had dug in there. This place, where Nilfgaard had triumphed grandly in the war's early days, would now bear witness to its impending defeat. It seems history, after all, has a sense of justice, or humor, or both. Though Meve had already reclaimed her realm, she refused to retire her sword just yet. for King Demavend had requested her aid in purging Edirn of the invader. How could she refuse? She owed the king a favor, firstly. Yet she also had a burning desire to settle the score with Epdahi.
Demavend's envoy and I spoke, Your Majesty. The king...
Good. I truly hate to miss...
Of course, Your Grace.
Yes? Is there something...
Pardon my boldness, Your Grace, but...
Reynard, I just buried my...
Yes. Your Majesty, I wasn't sure Willem could ever wash away the shame. But his actions in Rivię washed away his wrongs. I don't say any of this to deepen your grief, Your Majesty.
You're right. We've talked enough.